the first pick in the NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select Sterling. You. They selected you, bro. You know that, right? You in the NBA now, bro. You a big dog. You know that? You understand? Yeah, you get it. You get it, young. Yeah. All right, so what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the channel. My name is Dion or Smooth, whichever one you prefer works for me. And today we got my first video on this channel. And this is called Thinking Out Loud About Basketball. So here, just going to be having my random thoughts about the game, anything I might see, whether it be mainly focused on NBA, because that's what I grew up on. But whether it be NBA, WNBA, a little bit of college. I prefer the women's college hoops, anything like that. Men's a little bit, you know, you might see some during the tournament, like reacting to the games or anything like that. But mainly, I could be talking about the NBA because that's what I grew up on. That's what I know. That's how I learned how to play, mimic moves, anything. I learned all that from the NBA. That's what I grew up on. And all right, so I got another channel as well, which is called Dion, which is where I do anything else outside of basketball. So like watch longs, movie shows, listen, reacting to some music, whatever, playing a game, anything, anything I feel like doing outside of basketball will be over there, which I'll link in description. All right, so today the first thing I wanted to get into was the conversation about the face of the league talk. I've been hearing this talk on the media for a while. For like the past few weeks, they've been trying to have this debate back and forth about who's going to be this next face of the league. I think it opened up over like the All-Star break with them asking different, interviewing the players with different questions and things like that. So it opened up that conversation again. And I remember like some quotes from like Jason Tatum and things like that. First of all, let's get that out the way. I am a Boston Celtics fan. As you could probably see, I got the KG poster in the back right there. I was a bandwagon as a little kid. I started liking them in 2007 when they first got traded there. But I was a kid. I was in single digit ages at that point. So who cares? I'm a Boston Celtics fan. So if you ever hear some, a little bit of biasness, guess what? I don't care. But for the most part, I'm not biased for real. I don't think I am. But so yeah, JT, he done had some quotes over the All-Star break and since then, talking basically saying that like he is in a prime opportunity to basically be the next face of the league if he wants to take it. Basically, the only thing holding him back is winning because people put down the fact that he lost in these previous years. They hold that against him. So he's in a prime position that he says. And then we have some other players in mind. For me personally, I only see about 3 to 4 names in mind. And JT, he is one of them. Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, and Wemby. Those are the only names off the top of my mind where I see as potential faces of the league. On the bubble, maybe Shea a little bit, but I really think Shea is basically where he is at this point. Like he is who he is. Like he's a phenomenal scorer, but I just don't see him as that type of guy. I don't think his game is enough to fit that type of role as the face of the league. So, firstly, since I already mentioned the quote of JT, I'll get right to JT, what I think about him. JT, I kind of agree with him what he was saying with that only thing basically he has to do is win for real, just to get to that point where he is one of, I feel like he could be one of the face of the league. I don't see him as the face of the league just because I don't see his like his attitude and just the way he plays. It's all a lot of inconsistency with JT. So he's inconsistent on and off the court, where he shows signs of greatness all the time. But he has games where he's very inconsistent, where he's not there. And to me, even in those games, he just doesn't have that attitude where he's like, I'm still that guy. Like, even think about guys like Kobe, even when they were having off games, like you still felt their presence, like they were there. Like, they're still one of those guys. Whereas JT, he just kind of, if he's not there, it seems like he's just hiding or something. Like, his attitude just for me isn't there. It's too inconsistent. And even off the court, like when he's talking, like he has these quotes and things like that where he randomly comes out, well, like he has a big game and he says, humbly, I'm one of the best players in the world. That's cool, but you got to keep that type of attitude. If that's who you're going to be, that's who you got to be at all times. Like, you can't just go back to say, you can't just say that and then go back to being all humble. Like, you know, it is what it is. I respect these guys so much and all that. Like, you got to pick one. Like, most of the time he's on his humble type time. And then randomly he comes out with a quote saying that I'm one of the best players, or like he did over the All-Star break, saying basically saying it's mine for me to take as the face of the league. So you can't. It's too random. Like, I feel like with him it's like a confidence thing. When he's confident, he will come out and say those confident things. But when he's not, he's too humble. Like, even yesterday, I watched the game yesterday. JB, he's on his team. Jaylen Brown, in his interview, he was basically saying like, yeah, we took this game personal, law. Like, we still think about that finals loss on our home floor to the Warriors. Yeah, we take that personal. We had to basically come out and whoop their ass. Where JT at the end of the game, he had a good game. They whooped their ass, and he's just like the reporter had mentioned what JB said to him, and JT is just like, nah, I get that, but we got to move on from that. No matter what happened, we can't change the past and all that. It's just like, bruh, they whooped your ass, and then like you took a lot for that because people saying that you folded and all that, and you basically did. Yeah, you might have had the little hand injury or whatever, but still, it don't matter. You was out there playing, so you kind of folded, and like you got to take your opportunity to be like, yeah, bruh, I took this game personal. So, like for me, JT, his attitude is too inconsistent to be that type of face of the league figure, even though I feel like he can still be one of the main faces, especially if he starts winning. Like, I think he could probably win an MVP or so. Like, if he wins this year, I feel like next year he's going to be in a prime position to win the MVP. Just because people are going to be like, all right, he finally got over the hump. So we can see him as one of the guys. So we can give him an MVP now. But still, I don't feel like he's going to ever have that attitude like that where you're looking up to him like, yeah, that's that guy right there. Like, when you think NBA, we think in JT. He doesn't have that attitude, all that. Like, he's too on the humble and shy side. Even though I think maybe if he wins, he might have that confidence where he's gonna be like, yeah, I am that guy. Where he can say it all the time, even if he's not having a bad game, even if he's not having a good game, where he's be like, yeah, I am that guy. If he wins the championship, I feel like that might give him an added confidence. We'll see, but he has to win first. Like, even like guys like Steph. Steph was a humble guy. He was all that, but on the court, like Steph be showing his ass. Like, he's not humble at all when he get on that court. So it was easy for him to become a face. Like, even though he was a humble guy, his game wasn't humble at all. JT's game is kind of, it's not flashy enough and all that. So I just don't see that attitude enough for him to maintain as the face of the league, like on his own. I can see him as one of the faces of the league. All right, so next I got Luka. Luka's already he got the personality. He got basically he got the game. His game is flashy enough. The personality is there. Like, Luka, he's basically in position already to become a face of the face of the league if he wants. The only thing I see holding Luka back for real is winning. But that's the thing that I think that gets in his way is winning. Because I used to look at Luka as like a LeBron X type of guy where like he controls the game and he just knows what to do to win. But as I gone on, like I've seen, like yes, he is controlling the game, but I don't think Luka he sacrifices enough to win the game. Like he has Kyrie. We seen Kyrie previously with LeBron. LeBron was able to like play his game and still sacrifice enough to where Kyrie was playing his best game too. Whereas I'm looking at the Luka and Kyrie dynamic, I just see Luka playing his best game, and Kyrie has to take a lot of sacrificing. Even though Kyrie still has his games and all that, he still shows out because he's Kyrie Irving. He still, I don't feel like Kyrie is fully being Kyrie right now. So that's where I feel like Luka is going to have some trouble because I think Luka literally just needs to start winning or at least make a deep playoff run where like we actually remember it. Like that's a memorable playoff moment. Where like how like Jimmy Butler how he's been having his playoff runs. People look at Jimmy when he gets to the playoffs. We know it's playoff Jimmy time. At least Luka needs to have some type of runs like that. Even if he doesn't win, he needs to have a memorable playoff run. But he has to sacrifice his game. He has to be able to prove that he could work well with others enough so he could win that championship. Because I feel like if he make a deep playoff run and he win the championship, it's literally his already. Like easy. People already view Luka as a top 3 players already. So like it's there for him. He just got to sacrifice enough for him to win the game. Like he needs to win in the playoffs. Like he's got to the deepest he got so far is the Western Conference Finals. I'm not even looking at that as something too crazy. I remember he played in what the who was second round opponent? The Suns, the inconsistent Suns. With Devin Booker. Like even Devin Booker. I feel like a few years ago he might have been in this conversation, but I just don't see him right now. I feel like Devin Booker is who he is too, but like I don't see like that as a big accomplishment, beating the Suns and getting to the Western Conference Finals and getting smacked by the Warriors. I don't see that as a huge accomplishment for him as like a playoff run. So Luca right now, all I see him, you just have to win, and for you to win, you got to sacrifice your game just enough for to allow others to be able to play their game, so y'all could combine y'all games and be the best team that y'all could possibly be. So that's the only thing I see for Luca. Next, we got Anthony Edwards. And for Ant, I just feel like he's a couple years outside of being the best he could possibly be. I don't see him like he's not at the stage of where like Luca and JT were like they're close to being like at the top of their games. Or and I feel like he's still a couple seasons out where he's really going to be at the top of his game. So like I feel like he still needs a couple more seasons just to fine tune his game, figure out what's going on a little bit more, so he really becomes that guy. But for me, like on the other side, the personality wise and the attitude wise, and for me, he's the prime candidate. Like the way he talk, the way he be on the game. Like I be saying, hearing clips of him, like how he be talking to Kawhi, all this. He be going back and forth with Draymond on the court. Like his attitude and his demeanor, he is the prime guy. If I'm the NBA and they wanted to have like an American face of the league, it has to be Ant. Like I have to be trying to figure out a way to get him like a good enough team. Like even though like this team right now they're number one, they've been number one in the Western Conference for like the majority. of the year, I'm not considering them at all as a realistic threat to win the championship. I'm not having any thoughts about them actually making like they could make it to the Western Conference Finals possibly, but am I seeing them as an actual threat to win? No, not having any thoughts. I'm not giving them no chance to actually win NBA championship this year, even though they've been number one in the Western Conference for this whole year. No shot for me. So if I'm the NBA, I'm trying to see how I can get them a good enough team and how I can accelerate Ant, like his progression a little bit more to get into where he's really that guy. Like right now, he's really good, trending towards being a superstar, if not already. But I still feel like he just needs a little bit more progression to where he's really that guy. Where people looking at him like, all right, this man really unstoppable right now. So once he gets towards that progression and he figures out the game a little bit more, to where like you really cannot, you don't have an answer for him, then that's where I see where he's really going to have his say so in being that face of the league. But right now, I still feel like he's a couple seasons out. But he has the attitude, the personality. He has everything. He has everything to me, like on that side of the floor, off the floor and on the floor. He has that attitude and the way that he goes about the game. So I would love for it to be Ant, for me personally. But he still is a couple years out, in my point of view. And then lastly, Wemby. We got Wemby. Wemby is like it's just an asterisk on Wemby for me because I feel like Wemby, it's just he has everything for to me too. Like he has a good enough personality and he wants to win. He want to win everything. I heard about him getting mad at Ant for playing in the All Star events and all that. Like he's mad at him. He want. I heard he want to win the 3 point contest, skills contest, dunk contest. First of all, though, Wemby, I do not want to see you in a dunk contest. Please do not ever enter your lanky ass in the dunk contest. I just don't see like no possible good dunks for you to win a dunk contest, bro. Like I just don't see like the way your body moves. I don't see a dunk contest championship in your future. So please, I wouldn't even attempt that. 3 point contest, skills contest, all that. Go ahead, have at it. Win all them All Star Game MVP. Have at it. Win it. And I love the fact that you want to win all those, man. So like, he's taking this serious. He wants to win everything. He wants to be the best. He wants to win now, even though his team is not that good. He's already kind of putting the pressure on the organization of like letting them know that he wants to win. So I feel like Wemby, he just need the platform for real, for real. Like they just need to give him a good enough team to where he could take over. Because Wemby, like his game is so transcendent to the fact like he doesn't really need that much time to build like his game. Well, like how I said, Ant needs a couple more years to like build his game up a little bit more. Wemby, even though he's not at his best, like he's still probably a few years outside of his best game. His game right now is like he's that transcendent enough to where if you give him a good enough team now, it's a good chance like he could take over the league right now. So I feel like Wemby right now, he just needs the platform. And I don't know when the Spurs are going to be in position to give him a good enough team right now. So that's why I give him like a kind of an asterisk next to him because I don't know when the Spurs can realistically give him that team to where he could really take over and do what he got to do. Because now you see so many highlights of like on Twitter, Instagram, all of them of them blatantly missing Wemby all the time. I forgot who was it, Jeremy Sochan, all of them, and them other people like they be ignoring this man on the fast break. I think I seen a clip yesterday of them passing the ball past Wemby when he had could have got a wide open dunk and they passed it out to a 3 pointer that they missed. Like they like be blatantly missing. So this man needs a point guard, and I feel like he needs another reliable scorer that he could like rely on the wing. So a point guard and a wingman, but I don't know like when the Spurs can realistically do that for Wemby. So it's just whenever they get that man the platform to win. Like that's the only thing I see about Wemby. He just needs that platform to win the game. Like once he gets that good enough team to win, he's gonna be one of those prime candidates to take over. Like that's the only other person that I think of off the top of my head is Shea a little bit, but I just don't see Shea as that guy. Like for me, I just don't see Shea as that guy. Like his game, like people been talking about Shea as a superstar for a while. They trying to get this man MVP and all that. It just me personally, I just don't see that from Shea. Like he's a phenomenal scorer. Like he can get to whatever, like all three levels. Great finisher, great pull up game, got the three ball, all that. I get it, but I just don't see like it's mainly because I haven't seen Shea work out in the playoffs for real. I need to see Shea who he is in the playoffs for me to look at Shea realistically as somebody as all that because I've been seeing people like they kind of been anointing him as one of those guys before he has shown it. So like they like I've seen him like getting accelerated over guys like Jason Tatum and all that. I'm just like, bruh, I'm not giving like this man over a guy like Jason Tatum. When I've seen Jason Tatum in the playoffs, even though Jason Tatum has had his inconsistent moments, I have not seen Shea in the playoffs yet for me to anoint him as one of those guys. He's had a few great regular seasons so far. Great, him dropping 30, averaging 30, all that. Cool. But I haven't seen anything from him in the playoffs yet for me to realistically be like, all right, Shea is one of those guys. So I just need to see a playoff moment from Shea. That's it. I just need to see how he is. And it's going to be the number 2 seed most likely. I mean, number 2 or 1, depending on how the season finishes out. So he's going to have a prime opportunity this year to show me something. But right now, I just don't see him as, like, realistically as one of those faces. Even though, like, he's up there. Like, his game is up there. I just don't see it for me personally. So I just need to see him in the playoffs, essentially. Even though, like how I mentioned the Minnesota Timberwolves, how I don't see them having any possibility of winning. I can see OKC. They have a good enough team to where like they have a good enough young core to where like they can have a surprising run. Like their young, like their old OKC team when KD and them were young and they made that finals run like out of nowhere. Like that was like I wouldn't be surprised if OKC ran it off like that. Like I wouldn't be like realistically surprised by that. Just because I feel like their team is good enough all around to where they could be surprising enough to like they gain confidence from one series and they just take off. And then people get confidence earlier than they should have. Like Chet gets confidence earlier than he should have. And then it accelerates his progression and all that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and make a run, even though I don't see them like winning this year. But I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run this year. So, but if Shea was on the team, leads the team, and they do that, then I realistically take him into consideration as to being one of those faces. But other than that, I don't see like any other guy I can think of off the top of my head as being one of those faces. So if I had to rank them for me personally, this is just off of who I want. First, I want Ant. Ant, prime guy for me that I want to see as the face of the league. Next, right now, just for right now, I'm putting Luka at 2. Luka at 2 for face of the league, just because I feel like I kind of in position to already do it. All he just needs to do is win. After that, I'm putting Wemby, because Wemby, his game is just too transcendent enough to where like you just give him the platform to start winning, he could take it. he can take it. And then after that, I put JT. I'm a Celtics fan. And even me, I'm putting JT at 4 for face of the league just because his attitude and demeanor just ain't there. It's not consistent enough for me to look at JT as the guy. I can see him as one of the guys. Even if he starts winning, I see him as one of the guys, one of the face of the league. I just don't see him as the face of the league. And the next, finally, Shea. Shea is like an outside shot, even though I don't realistically see Shea as that guy. So I don't think I'm missing anybody. For me personally, I'm thinking of Devin Booker too, but he's kind of out for me at this point. He's been in the league long enough to where I kind of had a good grasp on him, to where I'm not really considering him no more. But yeah, I don't think it's nobody else realistically that I see. Zion had an outside shot when he came in, but I just don't see him ever getting in shape enough or being consistent enough on the court to where he could do it. So I don't see nobody else. Those are the top 5, really the top 4, because I don't. Shea has to really show me something. So it's really a top 4 for that face of the league conversation. So let me know if y'all think it's anybody else I'm missing, or y'all got a different ranking for how y'all think, or do y'all got different criteria for how y'all see as the face of the league? I know the league probably still wanted like an American, but for me, I think they only got like 2 realistic options. It's 2 versus what? 3 that I mentioned. Luka from another country, Wemby from another country, and even Shea Canadian. He from another country. So it's two versus 3. So it's not looking good for it being American face of the league. But let me know if y'all got any other people that y'all considering, or any other criteria that y'all think, anything y'all think I missed about who should possibly be the face of the league. That's just my thoughts, my opinions. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what y'all want to see next, man. I'm out.